Hello everybody, hope you're doing well and welcome to another Act 7.4 grind video. So as a lot of you know, the process in which I'm approaching this is on a, well, I need to complete it in order to get the 10,000 unit offer, which I'm looking to grind out the units in order to get at the point of recording this video. But this is just treated as a guide based video. But the way I've approached this is that I like to do one quest right through to 100% and then do a video guide. And a link is always in the description down below. So if you want to like check out stuff, it's going to be kind of this spreadsheet right here. And what it does, it kind of like looks at some like top counters and also, you know, MVPs that I used against this and other options as well from the player base, because it's not just about what I'm like putting suggestion wise. This is you know, from the player base as well. I'm gonna put in future, because this will be all updated in the same guide. There is a tab that's 7.4.1 and 7.4.2, which this video is strictly about. I will be doing in future videos a kind of a thank you bit right at the very end that has some additional notes, and in particular, as more people kind of like add to the community tab. So as you know, we are kind of like building this via the community tab, which if you go to the community tab, it's like it's got there like a thing of the quest, who do people use, and those helpful suggestions from the community. So thank you to everybody that does that and helps out. Whew, got that out of the way. Let's get into all paths, all bosses and stuff like that. But it's amazing to have like a community created video. So thanks very much everybody. Added it to my suggestions. Got a nice little video. Let's kick things off with path 1. Path 1 is all about Arcane Zeal. Those mystic champions, they're going to be the best. Power shield means that your special attacks are going to be the thing that does the nice damage. Optional, static defense means that you might want to go for shock immune champions. Not saying it is the right option or is an option. It's just one of these situations of like, personally, I liked using Dr. Doom. I also liked considering like other options that maybe dealt with that, but it's not something you should overly worry about. It's just a case of bringing those mystic champions, and also look out for turtling. Not again like a scary thing. On the path, you'll see the likes of Cosmic Ghost Rider, Magneto, Xerxes, Yondu, Terex, and Apocalypse. Okay, and with this, I would say the only like problem you might have is with Terex to a lesser degree. Yondu, let's face it, if you've got Dr. Doom, you can have a good time. You can either have magic for Terex, you can either put on a load of boosts, which I did, and kind of like get through Terex, but I think I used magic in any case. And anything against Magneto that is a non-#metal mystic champion, so the likes of Black Widow, Clairvoyant, Magic and Sorcerer Supreme, they'll work fine. Just don't use Mojo. Hood is a great option as well. So yeah, lots of options there. Path number 2 is Superiority. For this, there's tons of champions you could use against this. If you bring a mutant based champion, like mutants kind of like literally just slay this lane. There's some stuff to watch out for, but pretty much just any mutant is going to be an absolute dream. Do bear in mind there's a lot of #metal champions. Punisher 2099, whether because it's tech. Mysterio, we've got Strife, and we've got Warlock. All of those are #metal. So if you've got a red mags, you're going to have an absolute ball of a time with this. But as I said, loads of champions would do against this. Oh, and Old Man Logan's #metal. So most champions on there, like 5 of them are #metal. So if you've got a Magneto, hey, you can have a great time. I did actually use Hulkbuster for, I think it was the Professor X fight because of the rotations, because it was fun. Apocalypse, Magneto, as we said, Professor X. Cosmic Ghost Rider with Ghost Rider in the synergy. Arcus, Warlock, Guillotine, Ultron, Bishop. As I said, a lot of these are suggested by players, other players did the lanes, so those are their suggestions from that one. On the other routes as well, what have we got? Well, on path 3 is your first time you'll see a Paradox combo, and basically combo meter raised by 5 means you get a Paradox charge. Don't get too many. Shrug those Paradox charges off by simply doing an intercept, or kind of interrupting the light or medium of the attack. Limber is probably the more annoying element to this, so that's something to watch out for, but entropic impairment means that debuff durations increase. It kind of like balances each other out with it. It depends how well you perform on this particular setup. So on that particular path, counters for it, and there's loads. There's absolutely loads. Magneto for Spider-Man tech because he is a hashtag metal. Hitmonkey can be done with Apocalypse or Nick Fury. Incinerate immune champions against Human Torch. Iron Man Infinity War, we'll use Magneto as a counter for that. When Jabari Panther any champion. MODOK, Magneto as a counter. Other champions, Hyperion, possibly if you want to SP1 rotate, Archangel, Shang-Chi, Jabari Panther herself, Mr. Negative, Hulkbuster, Immortal Abomination. Things that really kind of raise up the potency of those debuff effects, which in entropic impairment will indeed do. But, it's up to you which champion you use for this. Tantrum kicks off Path 4, and that is very much a case of, well, if you've got a Disorient, an Innovate, Concussion, or a Taunt debuff on, happy days. I think it's the SP1. Yes, SP1 of Nick Fury does Disorient, and Apocalypse as well has the Concussion debuff. I'm not sure. I can't remember if it's got Disorient as well. No, he's immune to Disorient. That's the point I was going to get to. Joe Fixit also has Disorient as part of his kit, and that can be very helpful. In other cases, and most cases that are, several other combos and things, I think I use like Crossbones a little bit throughout. Magneto against some of the champions that hashtag metal, like Morningstar, and I think it's Falcon. So yeah, there's loads of different options. I think this path here was a bit kind of like, could be a bit sketchy for people, so maybe that's something I'll add to in more recent updates. And I don't know, in 2023 I'll do an update to this that may have something completely different, but those are some options there. Path number 5 now, and that's Special Delivery. Special Delivery and No Surrender, it's not ridiculously bad. It just depends again how you want to play this, whether or not you want to go down the route of suppressing with Footloose, which is the evade and unstoppable buff. If you want to look to suppress that, that's your option. But as well, kind of like look to Special Delivery because you're going to be having to rotate around throwing special attacks easier. Whether or not you've got something like, I don't know, Hyperion, something that's quick to gain power very quickly, that could be an option. I'm not saying it's the best option, but a lot of players have used different things with it. So just look out to what is what you feel to be the best way to counter this. Some options for the path. Then Mojo, Doctor Doom, Cap Infinity War because of the way he deals with what he deals with. She-Hulk, Spider-Man 2099, Mr. Negative, Spider-Gwen, Shang-Chi. So all of those things to suppress things with a slow debuff. That's basically, a good counter for this. But easy rotations around the slow debuff are normally the most effective way to go with this. Final path now, and that is Paradox Charge Knockdown. This is just the case, as soon as you knock down the enemy, you get a Paradox Charge. Removal of a Paradox Charge can be done by interrupting, kind of intercepting with light or medium attacks. I can't remember if I'm repeating myself because I think I said this one for Path 3. At the end of the day, whatever's on the spreadsheet, which is going to be uploaded, always kind of like refreshed, it will have the correct data on. So I think you probably understand what I'm talking about when you come to this particular path. But let's have a look at some options. So basically, interrupt, light and medium, removes a charge. Simple as that. Counters, Spider-Ham, War Machine, Hitmonkey, Nick Fury, Mole Man, Human Torch, Apocalypse with Cable, Archangel. There's so many for this particular path. It's a straightforward path. I think Sauron fight is probably a little bit annoying, or one of the most annoying. Rest of that's fine, except for Domino, especially with that critical failure. It's kind of a bit weird that it's on there, but it is what it is. Apocalypse can be good interactions against these champions. Anything that's got like a huge potency. And for me personally, I decided to use a Human Torch against Sauron, and it was a really effective fight, especially when it comes to building up the potency on Entropic Extinction, which allows for a plus 30% debuff potency, which does help if you're doing loads of Incinerates and stuff like that in certain areas, or if you're doing the Nova charges, Nova Flame, sorry. So that's kind of like another kind of like good option as well. Same thing with going and using a non-hashtag metal against White Magneto and all that stuff. Now the same with bosses. Now this is going to be the big thing, debatable about which one's the easiest one. I don't know, I kind of feel like Crossbones and Sabretooth. Like if you got the correct counters for Sabretooth, he's really easy. But then I've seen people say that Yellowjacket's easy if you got certain champions. So I don't know, maybe they're all easy in 7.4.2. So in a nutshell, let's go over them just quickly. Crossbones, got Galvanized, got Foresight, got Rust the Ruin, got Live Wire. In a nutshell, he rotates through being having a shock charge. So if you like hit him, then you're going to get shocked, or you're going to get yourself armor broken. And you don't have to bring a shock immune champion. It depends how you want to rotate. Don't take in nullified champions, because from cold dead hands does mean you're going to get some direct damage back to you. And yeah, I mean this is like a very doable fight. It's just a case of watching out whether unblockable rotates around as to like what you want to do with it. The unblockable effect or passive means that you might have to think about when you evade from special attacks. In any case, there's loads of different options for this. As I said, Magneto is one of the greatest, used him several times. Havoc, Storm Pyramid X, Nebula because Shock Immune, Thor Ragnarok. Players have used Mojo. Apocalypse seems to be one that appears a few times, so there's that. And when it comes to Sabretooth, for me, Sabretooth was very, very easy when it came to utilizing, say, Warlock. And for this particular fight, it's got Adrenochrome, which basically, in a nutshell, yeah, special attacks, thrown, Sabretooth gets Fury passives. Fury passives expire, burst damage based on the amount of debuff damage you've put on the enemy. So do a load of debuffs, get a lot of Fury passive damage when they expire. Nimrod, Warlock. Warlock was... I used Warlock but didn't really play too much into the kind of the nodes of that. Cable with Apocalypse and any heal block champions. Void, Cap Infinity War with tech champions. The list goes on with options for this. And this leaves us then finally with Yellowjacket. Not many counters for Yellowjacket, but I think a lot of people have done it once and then gone and done the easier fights. And that's why you kind of see things like with this fight's combo Party, Encroaching Stun. Champions that are going to shrug off stun or stun immune could be really good options against this. Flux Dispersal, heavy Assault, so you're doing heavy attacks and also told to do heavy attacks because it is indeed going to be handy against rotation factors. The only big thing to mention, the most annoying thing about this is Energize, so the power rate is a lot higher. I find the SP2 of Yellowjacket a lot more easier to evade, and I like to rotate around that. But you know, for me, I just use Magneto. Wasp is a great option for this. Nick Fury, Hercules. There must be a lot more to this, so as people give more info, I can update this as I go. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That has been the guide to 7.4.2, and I will be updating the spreadsheet as I go. A few people have been checking it out, which is amazing, and yeah, I'll keep adding more to this, especially as we get more information from the player base. I'll add little bits in here and there and give more kind of like update and info. I did forget in the last episode to kind of do a kind of like visuals of like the fights, and I did make the mistake. I didn't record quite so much with 7.4.2 when I was playing it. I'll try and do that with 7.4.3 when I start working on that one. I think I'm going to start work on Wednesday and have that completed towards the end of the week, especially as a lot of you know I'm rotating around Arena Grind to grab unit to push to 10,000 units before the 23rd of April 2022. So that's just that explained. Thank you very much for the support. See you in a live stream where I do that exact arena grind. I appreciate you. Much love. Check out some other content on screen and the guides in the link in the description. Have a good one. Bye bye.